Kelsey Mitchell has found herself in serious hot water.
Kelsey Mitchell's situation is just getting worse.
Her sister went on social media.
She made a comment.
These two players can win some games without Clark, but
Clark can't win a single game
without them.
Diminishing Caitlin Clark's importance and saying that they should really be running the offense through Kelsey Mitchell.
Is looking real spooky.
Kelsey Mitchell, get your people in check. You need to know. Do not say anything to downplay Caitlin Clark.
Kelsey Mitchell's family came for Caitlin Clark, calling her overrated, claiming she couldn't win without them.
Clark's delusional fans can stay mad and call me all of the names in the book, but we all know, including y'all who carries my fever team, these two players can win some games without Clark, but Clark can't win a single game without them.
It's something that is getting completely out of hand.
Caitlin didn't respond with drama. She let her game do the talking. Now Kelsey's family is under fire, and she's left in tears. If you're 100% Team Caitlin, drop a comment below and show her some love.
Caitlin Clark is the face of a league.
There's one person in this league that when she walks in the building, when she walks in the room, the owners see dollar signs. There's only one person and her name's Caitlin Clark.
It all started with a Facebook post, not from a rival fan or a bitter critic, but from Chelsea Mitchell, Kelsey Mitchell's twin sister. In a now viral exchange, Chelsea openly dismissed Caitlin Clark's role in the Fever's success.
Her sister went on social media. She deleted her Twitter account after this post was released because I cannot find an inkling of that Twitter account.
Agreeing with a post that claimed Clark couldn't win a single game without players like Kelsey.
Steve Brown person writes on Facebook, Clark's delusional fans can stay mad and call me all the names in the book, but we all saw, including y'all, who carries my fever team, and we all know who the offense should be run through.
In Aaliyah Boston. The post boldly stated the offense shouldn't be run through Caitlin Clark.
Kelsey Mitchell's sister apparently commented, Chelsea Mitchell, which is Kelsey Mitchell's twin sister, she made a comment diminishing Caitlin Clark's importance and saying that they should really be running the offense through Kelsey Mitchell.
And referred to Clark's supporters as delusional fans.
Clark's delusional fans can stay mad and call me all of the names in the book. Whether you like it or not, these two players can win some games without Clark, but Clark can't win a single game without them.
This tweet right here is sending shockwaves throughout the fan base. It states, Caitlin Clark delusional fans can stay mad and call me all the names in the book, but all we saw, including y'all, who carries my fever team, and we all know who the offense should be ran through. Whether you like it or not, these two players can win some games without Caitlin Clark.
Chelsea doubled down, writing, I gotta agree.
Chelsea Mitchell says, I gotta agree.
Chelsea Mitchell, I gotta agree. Now, I'm not sure if this is, I heard one person say that this was her mother. I heard another person say, no, this is like a sister or something like that. I'm glad I'm a twin.
A single sentence set off a firestorm. What made it worse was that Chelsea Mitchell isn't just a random relative. She's a former Division I player herself, a baller, someone who knows the game. That raised a chilling question. If Chelsea felt this confident airing those opinions in public, what was Kelsey Mitchell saying behind closed doors?
There are statements made by members of her family, Kelsey Mitchell's.
Fans and analysts quickly speculated that these weren't isolated thoughts. These were family group chat convos made public.
I don't get enough credit on the team. And if you're a family member, you back your family members like 1,000%.
Family running their mouths out in public. That's the problem.
And that's when things really turned. The backlash hit fast. Social media lit up with fans calling out the disrespect, pointing out that Caitlin Clark had completely changed the trajectory of the Fever franchise. But instead of walking it back, more Mitchell family members and friends chimed in, liking and reposting negative comments about Clark. One family friend even called Caitlin a glorified role player.
Caitlin Clark, a role player. If you say that, you're going to get fans clapping back at you and fans are getting pissed off.
And compared her to Antonio Brown, sharing deeply inappropriate content that had nothing to do with basketball.
Compared Caitlin Clark to a man who has shared Antonio Brown's disgusting posts about Caitlin Clark.
It wasn't just petty, it was personal.
If this happened with Caitlin Clark, anyone involved with Caitlin Clark. Like, I'm pretty sure Jada Jimfy laughed at Caitlin Clark's boyfriend's brother, basically saying Angel Reese sucks at basketball. And then they were trying to call Jada Jimfy. They were calling Jada Jimfy slurs.
The public had seen enough. The narrative shifted from family defending their own to jealousy masked as opinion. People began to question why this was happening now.
It's ridiculous when people blame Caitlin Clark for the actions of people in her general circle.
Right when Clark was putting up monster stats.
Now, I told y'all, man, a lot of these ladies did not like Caitlin Clark, and it's clear today their family really don't care about them either.
Selling out arenas and dragging the Fever into playoff contention. It started to look like the spotlight on Caitlin Clark had exposed deeper insecurities. Fans were furious. If Kelsey's family had something to say, why were they targeting the one person who brought real relevance to Indiana?
Her sister went on social media. She deleted her Twitter account after this post was released because I cannot find an inkling of that Twitter account.
This wasn't just a casual disagreement. It ignited a locker room firestorm. Analysts questioned whether Kelsey's frustration was spilling into her family, and if that explained the lack of support Clark was receiving on the court. When Caitlin got hit hard by defenders, where were her teammates? Why wasn't anyone stepping in?
There may be an actual fracture in that locker room, and it makes me wonder, are we starting to see why she hasn't gotten any help from her teammates?
Some wondered if the rift in the family was just a symptom of a bigger issue festering behind the scenes. And just like that, Kelsey Mitchell's family turned a private rivalry into a public feud, with Caitlin Clark in the crosshairs and the basketball world watching every second of it.
Kelsey Mitchell's situation is just getting worse right now. And it's something that is getting completely out of hand. They want to blame Caitlin Clark for everything, no matter how minor it is. Let's not sink to their level.
While the noise outside the locker room grew louder, Caitlin Clark never once addressed Kelsey Mitchell's family directly. She didn't need to. She did what great players do. She let the numbers speak louder than any Facebook post ever could. Let's talk facts. Since Clark joined the Fever, the team has transformed. Before her arrival, Indiana was a bottom feeder, winning just 5 games in 2022 and 13 the next year, even with Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston. Under Mitchell's leadership alone, the team had become known for mediocrity.
Why are we running with this? It's time to start talking about how CC ruining the Fever momentum. With her, I don't see them making the playoffs when she was out. I could see them upsetting the New Yorks and Minnesota in the playoffs. Man, what are people talking about, man? Why are we running with this narrative, dog?
Averaging just 6 to 8 wins per season. Fans were growing disinterested, ticket sales were flat, and viewership was nearly invisible. The Fever weren't just losing, they were irrelevant. Then came Caitlin. With Clark on the court, the Fever surged to 20 wins in her rookie season, something it had taken them 4 full seasons combined to accomplish under Mitchell. Clark didn't just improve the team, she elevated the entire franchise.
Caitlin Clark is the superstar of this team.
The offensive rating jumped to a historic high, topping out at 106, the best in team history. They started selling out arenas. Merchandise flew off the shelves. The WNBA's ratings skyrocketed, and Caitlin was the reason.
Y'all was not driving up viewerships before Caitlin got there. Y'all wasn't selling out arenas before Caitlin got there. Don't sit up here and act like she's the second coming of Jesus because she could make some 3-point shots.
Yet despite all this, the Mitchell family had the audacity to claim Caitlin couldn't win a single game without Kelsey. That statement fell apart fast. The Fever were 4-8 without Clark and 8-5 with her.
This statement that's on my screen right here, it's not even factual.
Translation? They were a losing team without her and a playoff contender with her. Those numbers don't lie.
No, they're not winning games without Caitlin Clark.
And no amount of social media spin could change that. But Caitlin didn't just win games. She did it under pressure no rookie has ever faced. She was elbowed, shoved, cheap-shotted, and targeted in nearly every matchup. Yet she never lashed out. She never pointed fingers. Even when her own teammates, including Kelsey, stood by silently while she took hits on the court, Clark stayed locked in. She dropped triple doubles. She nailed deep threes. She dished out no-look assists like a seasoned pro. In one statement performance, she dropped 29 points, 13 assists, and 5 rebounds, just days after Kelsey's sister made those disrespectful comments.
Even if he messed up on what he was trying to say, I know for sure he's not trying to say Kelsey can do it without the other two or Boston can do it without the other two, because that is definitely not true.
That wasn't a coincidence. That was a response. Caitlin's message was clear. I'm not here to argue, I'm here to lead. But the ripple effects didn't stop at stats. Clark's presence also exposed a hard truth. Some players were benefiting from her spotlight, but resenting it at the same time. Kelsey Mitchell was suddenly in national conversations. Her stats were being analyzed by millions.
So here's somebody that, she interacts with online. Brika, someone Kelsey Mitchell's sister interacts with online, says, it's time to start talking about how CC ruining the Fever momentum.
And she had access to endorsement opportunities never available before. But rather than embrace that and thrive, her circle chose jealousy. And in doing so, they revealed their own insecurity. Even fans who once supported Mitchell started flipping. They pointed out how little she had achieved without Clark and how much she had gained since Clark arrived. One comment summed it up perfectly. No one even knew who Kelsey was until Caitlin showed up.
They played 13 games with Caitlin Clark. They're 8-5. They've played 11 games without Caitlin Clark. They're 4-7. And they've had a harder... Actually, I would say the probably strength of schedule was about even. Strength of schedule was about even. With Caitlin Clark, they're 3-1, or they're 2-1 against the Atlanta Dream. They're 1-1 against the Liberty.
Now her family's acting like she's Steph Curry. It was harsh, but brutally honest. And while the Fever's chemistry started to shake, Caitlin remained the constant. She kept showing up, kept producing, and kept being the reason Indiana was finally relevant. She didn't fight back with words or clapbacks. She fought back by carrying a franchise on her back and daring anyone to deny it. So when Kelsey Mitchell's family claimed Caitlin couldn't lead, she didn't just prove them wrong, she made them look foolish. Because when the dust settled, Caitlin Clark stood tall, victorious, and unbothered, while the ones who doubted her looked smaller by the second.
Listen, Chelsea Mitchell and Kelsey Mitchell, you and Aaliyah Boston won 13 games last year, and that's the reason you got Caitlin Clark.
The moment Kelsey Mitchell's family chose to go public with their feelings about Caitlin Clark, they didn't just stir drama, they lit a fuse. What followed wasn't just a backlash, it was a reckoning. And at the center of it all stood Kelsey Mitchell, now caught between her family's bitterness and a fan base that had already chosen its hero. Once Chelsea Mitchell's comments hit the internet, it didn't take long for the Fever fan base to erupt. This wasn't some anonymous burner account. This was a twin sister, a former Division I player, essentially undermining the most valuable asset Indiana has had in over a decade. That made fans question everything. Was Kelsey really supportive of Caitlin?
Fan base being divided between those feeling that if this came from Kelsey Mitchell's sister, then this is the way that Kelsey Mitchell feels.
Had this resentment been simmering all along? And most importantly, could this team survive with that kind of tension beneath the surface? Fans didn't hold back. Across X, Instagram, YouTube comment sections, Kelsey's mentions exploded with people demanding she check her people. They didn't want drama. They wanted unity. And more than anything, they wanted respect for Caitlin Clark, the player who put Indiana back on the map. Instead, what they got was a locker room clouded by whispers and side eyes. Caitlin had been getting fouled hard all season, and time after time, her teammates stood silent, watching her get hacked with no retaliation, no pushback.
You would think the way they've treated Caitlin Clark, all of a sudden a teammate would come out of nowhere throwing a right hand. No, it hadn't happened.
No fight. Now those moments looked different. They looked intentional. They looked personal. And for many fans, Kelsey's silence about her sister's comments only confirmed what they feared, that the divide ran deeper than anyone knew. People began asking, why hasn't Kelsey said a word? Why hasn't she publicly distanced herself from the disrespect? Was it because she agreed, or because she couldn't control her own circle? Either way, the damage was done.
Kelsey Mitchell, get your people in check. You need to know. Do not say anything to downplay Caitlin Clark.
Kelsey Mitchell has found herself in serious hot water.
Kelsey Mitchell's sister apparently commented, Chelsea Mitchell, which is Kelsey Mitchell's twin sister, she made a comment diminishing Caitlin Clark's importance and saying that they should really be running the offense through Kelsey Mitchell.
It's looking real spooky.
Trust was broken, not just between players, but between fans and one of their own veterans. Even analysts who had long defended Mitchell began to admit the optics were bad, terrible even, and it wasn't just her sister. Kelsey's friends and extended family began interacting with and even reposting offensive material about Caitlin. One family friend allegedly shared content comparing Clark to Antonio Brown, circulating vile posts that had no place in a professional sports discussion. The hatred had gone from petty to poisonous. Meanwhile, Caitlin said nothing. She played harder, but the Mitchell circle wasn't done. One relative even posted that CC is ruining the Fever's momentum.
It's time to start talking about how CC's ruining the Fever momentum with her,
implying the team was better off without her. Let that sink in. The very player who elevated the franchise to national relevance, accused of being a liability. That wasn't just petty. That was delusional. Especially considering the Fever were a playoff team for the first time in 7 years. And the only variable that changed was Caitlin Clark. Fans remembered the numbers. Kelsey Mitchell had been with Indiana for 7 seasons. The team never cracked 13 wins until Caitlin arrived. They hovered at the bottom of the standings year after year. And the moment Clark got drafted, ticket sales exploded. Media coverage shifted. Sponsors came calling. For the first time, people cared. And yet the response from Mitchell's circle was not gratitude, it was envy. It got so bad that speculation swirled about Kelsey's future with the team. Many believe this is her final season in Indiana. She's on a 1-year contract, and with the public trust fractured, her exit feels inevitable.
You remember in the offseason, Kelsey Mitchell was a free agent. And for a long period of time, I got the sense that she actually came kind of close to not coming back to the Indiana Fever.
The free agency bonanza of which, and if you are a free agent that's worth anything, and if you want to build your brand, you want to play next to Caitlin Clark.
Some fans even suggested that the front office had promised too many players, Mitchell included, that this was their team. But now with Caitlin dominating headlines and highlights, those promises looked empty, and the resentment kept building. Then came the emotional breakdown. Though Kelsey never directly addressed the firestorm, insiders reported visible signs of stress. She looked tense in games. Post-game interviews were shorter. Some even described her as checked out. And when asked about locker room chemistry, her answers were vague, careful, almost rehearsed. It wasn't the confidence of a leader.
She's a dynamic scorer, but her assist and rebounding is not where I want to see.
It was the guarded tone of someone walking on eggshells, cornered by a controversy she couldn't control. And while Kelsey was unraveling, Caitlin kept climbing. Even as the noise reached deafening levels, Clark stayed composed, focused, and unshaken. Fans only loved her more for it, because they saw the double standard, how other players could lash out, make excuses, or stay silent when their own people disrespected Caitlin. But Clark kept rising above it all. She was becoming more than a rookie. She was becoming the face of resilience. By the end of it, Kelsey Mitchell's family hadn't just hurt her reputation. They'd helped solidify Caitlin's. The quiet, focused leader, the unshakable star.
She thinks she is the superstar on this team.
The one who got hit, got disrespected, and still carried the team. Meanwhile, the Mitchell family found themselves isolated, their narrative collapsing under the weight of receipts, facts, and fan backlash. And Kelsey, she was left in the middle, alone, quiet, and possibly preparing for her final chapter with the Fever. Because once you go against the player that saved your franchise, there's no going back.
But these players have to do better. Like, these players have got to make sure their family aren't tweeting out hate about a teammate.
Kelsey Mitchell's family thought they were defending her, but all they did was expose the truth the world already knew. This is Caitlin Clark's team now. No amount of bitterness or backhanded posts can change the reality of who's carrying the franchise. While others talk, Caitlin delivers. While others stir drama, she keeps making history. And as the noise fades and the dust settles, only one name is still standing strong: Caitlin Clark. If you're riding with her till the end, drop a 100% in the comments and let the world know whose side you're on.